First at 4, an absolutely gorgeous day, but as October approaches, is this going to be one of the last ones we get? We'll look at some record heat in the forecast coming up. Karen.
Also first at 4, General Motors does an about-face on health care. We're monitoring strike negotiations affecting thousands of families. But first, a showdown on Capitol Hill.
Well, it reads like a classic organized crime shakedown.
The director of national intelligence testifies about the whistleblower complaint that sparked an impeachment inquiry.
I want to stress that I believe that the whistleblower and the inspector general have acted in good faith.
As the president responds to what he saw.
It's a disgrace to our country.
First at 4 starts now.
Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon. President Trump is calling today's testimony another witch hunt, but the acting director of national intelligence told a congressional committee today the whistleblower did the right thing. Devin Skillion in the newsroom to break everything down for us on today's hearing. And Devin, the whistleblower complaint was made public right before this hearing.
Exactly right, Karen. A partially redacted complaint was lodged by a still unidentified intelligence agent. It details a phone call in which President Trump asked the Ukrainian president to help investigate business dealings with the Biden family. Today, in front of members of Congress, the head of national intelligence, the acting head of the National Intelligence Service, defended his employee.
I think the whistleblower did the right thing. I think he followed the law every step of the way.
We were presented with the most graphic evidence yet that the President of the United States has betrayed his oath of office.
The complaint accuses the president of soliciting foreign interference in the 2020 presidential election and accuses his administration of trying to cover up the call. Much of the hearing focused on why the acting director, Joseph Maguire, initially refused to share that complaint with Congress. Maguire insisted he was not directed by the White House to do so, calling the whole thing unprecedented. Now, today at Joint Base Andrews, President Trump called the hearing a terrible thing for the country.
My call was perfect. The president yesterday of Ukraine said there was no pressure put on him whatsoever. What these guys are doing, Democrats are doing to this country, is a disgrace, and it shouldn't be allowed.
Republicans are dismissing the hearing as a political stunt, pointing out that the whistleblower did not directly witness the acts alleged, but relied on information provided by more than a half dozen U.S. officials. You can read the complaint for yourself. It's on our website at clickondetroit.com. I think it is important to point out that while the whistleblower said he didn't have direct knowledge, his retelling of what happened in the phone call lines up almost exactly with the transcript of that was released yesterday, or the summary transcript that was released of that yesterday. Karen, back to you.
All right, we'll have that posted on our website. Thanks, Devin. Our coverage from Capitol Hill continues tonight at 5 and on Nightly News at 6:30. Stay with Local 4 and NBC News for all of the latest. Signs of progress have not led to a deal between the UAW and General Motors, at least not yet, but the company has flipped on health care coverage. Today, the UAW found out General Motors will keep paying for current health care benefits. The company had put that coverage on hold 10 days ago, which meant the union would have to pay for employees' COBRA. Well, yesterday, negotiations moved to the main table, which seemed to be a step in the right direction. Right now, both sides are still meeting. Business editor Rod Maloney joins us live at 5 with the very latest progress report. A Flat Rock man is arrested for allegedly impersonating a police officer. Earlier this week, the 37-year-old guy was pulled over on I-75 near Lapeer Road. Now, he was arrested on suspicion of driving with a suspended license. But when searching his car, officers found a BB gun, bulletproof vests with police patches, and you heard that functioning siren. Police want to know more about what he was up to, so anyone who had contact with this man is asked to call Auburn Hills Police. Governor Whitmer's ban on flavored e-cigarettes is now facing its first lawsuit. The owner of 906 Vapor over in Houghton filed a lawsuit saying the emergency rules are illegal. The governor says the e-cigarette industry is using candy flavors and deceptive marketing to target children. Michigan stores must start complying with a ban on Wednesday. So far, 12 people have died of vaping-related illnesses. There are more than 800 confirmed and probable cases. Oh, we're looking at sunshine on this beautiful September day. So Ben Bailey decided to take his forecast out on the road. And you're not too far away, are you, Ben?
No, I'm just outside, Karen, but you know, we've got this beautiful day, but we are so close to October. We don't know how many more of these nice ones we're going to get. So we grabbed a scooter and we're just going to take it around downtown and just see how folks are enjoying the day on what may be one of our last really nice ones for a while. Let's show you these temperatures, which are nearly perfect. Low humidity, temperatures anywhere from the upper 60s to low 70s across the area. And later on tonight, of course, it's going to get cool. You see, we're going to slink into the 50s there as we approach midnight, but there may be some 40s in the forecast tonight, and that's before we get to record heat. We'll deal with all that coming up, but right now I'm going to get this helmet on because they told me safety first, so we got to do that. But we're going to head down to Campus Martius, see how many people are actually skipping work, and I will see you hopefully in about 10 minutes, Karen.
All right. Thank you very much, Ben. Be careful. Glad you're wearing a helmet. City of Detroit has been celebrating some new numbers on poverty in the city. Now, they do sure sound encouraging. Household income up, and 45,000 Detroit residents are moving out of poverty. But that's not the entire story. Our Paula Tutman takes a look at the reality of those numbers and what it means to the people behind the statistics.
The report is based on a survey done by the American Community Survey, which collects government data more regularly and between actual census studies. And the numbers are great for Detroit.
45,000 people have moved out of poverty in the city of Detroit in the last 3 years. And it's a good direction.
The numbers show that in Detroit, the poverty level was 39.8% in 2015, 35.7% in 2016, 34.5% in 2017, and 33.4% in 2018. These are the numbers you want to go down.
We directly attribute this positive trend, right, moving in the right direction, to Detroit at Work. And so we're connecting more Detroiters to training opportunities and to jobs, and FCA is a great example of that.
But the numbers do bear a little more scrutinization. First, understand the national threshold for poverty is currently $26,750 total for a household of 4. Next, you have to make sure you're talking apples to apples. Without question, there is a new economic demographic moving into the city. Younger people making more than $27,000, working at places like Quicken and Bedrock and any number of the budding business ventures in the city, raising the median household income. But the numbers the mayor's office are touting have to do with surveying of people who, year after year, for the last 4 years, say they were making less than $27,000 and say now they are making more. Few people are excited to talk about their salaries when they are at or near the national poverty line. This woman who works as part of a cleanup crew for Campus Martius says 4 years ago she was making about $22,000 and now she's making $27,000, which, while moving in the right direction,
buy more groceries, pay bills on time.
Does it make you feel better about the city?
Yeah, it does.
She can't say she's actually pulled herself out of poverty, at least not yet. Is your family situation better?
Not really. I would like to make more money, yeah.
Our relationships with employers will help solve for that. $15 an hour is really the living wage, and not all employers pay $15 an hour. But what we're doing in the city of Detroit is building stronger relationships with employers, so we try to get them to move in the right direction so that that woman makes a living wage.
Okay, so let's take a look at those survey answers, because one answer pretty much equates to about 7,000 people. Keeping in mind that means that still about a third of the city's population is still living at or below the poverty line, and the mayor's office says that they are proactively working on programs to bring those people out of poverty. Karen?
All right, thank you, Paula. Still ahead, first at 4, a celebrity with an unforgettable voice just signed a deal to come into your home with weather updates and much more. Might be too much for some parents. We'll talk about that. Plus, beating the high cost of health care, a major retailer is offering some relief to Michigan customers. Also, it's a lesson in gun safety that shows parents something they never expected about their very own kids.
As soon as they picked it up, started looking right down the barrel, I was like, oh my gosh.
Why you may not be doing enough to protect your children. Stay here for good health.